Well, now that we're knee-deep in summer, many of us have dusted off our bikes to hit the road.
But what are some bike basics that we should all know? Joining us now to steer us through it all is Dr. Stephen Gray. Doctor, great to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you too.
All right, first up, when it comes to buying the perfect bike, let's talk about that. What should we be looking for?
Okay, so that's a really great place to start. And I'm here to clarify everything. And I have to say, bike frame size does matter, but it's really quite easy to determine which bike suits your body perfectly. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure your inseam, which is from the bottom of your foot all the way up to the top of your leg. You're going to take this measurement and you're going to multiply by a factor of 0.65. This is going to give you a great jumping off point of where to start shopping for a bike. From here, I would try on a few a little bit bigger, a few a little bit smaller. But finding the right bike size for you is going to prevent a lot of injuries that just come from biking on a bike that's not the right fit for you. And if you have any trouble, just consult one of your reputable bike shops and they'll be happy to help you out.
Okay. You also say it is important to know where exactly your foot rests on the pedal.
Yes. So that's a really good question that a lot of people don't think about. So what you want to do is you want to take the ball of your foot, that's the padding right before your toes, otherwise known as the head of your metatarsals. You want to place that directly on the center of the axis of your pedal. Anything too far back, and that can lead to some strain on your calf muscles or some sprain in that Achilles tendon. And anything too far forward, and it's really difficult to bike at that high cadence. So as you notice on my bike, I have clips. Clips allow you to snugly put your foot in and allows you to push forward as opposed to just pushing down. Although I will warn you, if you get clips, there is a bit of a learning curve. So take your time practicing getting in and out of that clip quickly.
That is a good tip. That's a pro tip right there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next up, let's talk about alignment. I'm used to that when it comes to my car, but what can you tell? I've had the alignment out of my car several times. Can you tell us about alignment, though, when it comes to biking?
Yeah, so I'm a chiropractor. I love alignment, and my rule is simple. Patella over pedal. So patella meaning your kneecap. When your pedal and your pedal spindle is in that forward horizontal position, you want to be seated on your saddle with your kneecap directly over that pedal. That's going to help prevent some of those knee injuries that are common in bikers, but it's also going to help you create as much torque as possible for that pushing and that circular motion.
Okay, now let's move to the hands, because often people complain that their hands hurt or kind of get numb while cycling. Is there a way to avoid that?
Yeah, so that's a very common symptom when I see patients who are biking a lot in the summer. And what I first recommend is taking a look at the height of your handlebars. So a great place to start is by lowering them for a shorter cyclist, maybe 1 to 2 inches below that seat. And for a taller cyclist, you might go all the way to 4 inches below. And then from there, slowly move those handlebars up until you feel comfortable. So personally, I like my handlebars quite high, but I also recommend shifting up how you're gripping those handlebars, especially if you have drop bars, as well as maintaining that neutral alignment in that wrist. Hopefully that's going to prevent some of that numbness, tingling, that hand or wrist pain that you can experience from those long rides or from those frequent cyclists.
All right. And finally, you say stretching after a bike ride is crucial. Why is that, and what should we be focusing on?
So a lot of my cyclists, they're in that sort of flexed hip position for so long that their hip flexors can get tight. So the hip flexor we're going to look at today is called psoas. Psoas actually attaches to the bottom few vertebrae of your spine, which is why it makes sense that a cyclist can get that hip pain, but also that low back pain too. So the stretch I'm going to show you today is quite simple. You're going to place a chair and then put your knee on the chair behind you. Grab onto a counter or another chair or something for a bit of stability, and take that forward lunge just like this until you feel that stretch in the front of that hip. Normally, I recommend holding a stretch for about 5 yoga breaths, nice and slow in and out. But today, I'm going to recommend you hold this stretch for 5 ankle circles one way and then 5 ankle circles the other way. This is going to be a double whammy to get that hip flexor, but to also get that ankle, which can often be restricted in cyclists. And if you're like me, you might just want to open up that upper back, give it a nice good stretch, and then you're done. and then move on to the other side.
All right. Am I the only one whose hamstrings are screaming out loud right now just watching this?
Dr. Gray, thank you so much.
Thank you.